Mr Miller, members of the Marist community, Mr Bradley Eisenhuth of the St Greg's Old Boys Association, teachers, parents, friends and members of the graduating class of 2016. It is with my great pleasure to welcome you here this morning as we acknowledge the academic achievements of this outstanding group of young men. Whilst this morning is very much about the present, it is also an opportunity for the boys to look back on their time they have spent here together at St Greg's. Shortly I will invite the Year 12 homeroom teachers to invite each of the boys in their class to step forward to receive their portfolio. I'd firstly like to introduce you to Mr Bradley Eisenhuth from the Old Boys Association. Brad was a member of the graduating class of 2001, fulfilling the role of college captain in that year. We are most grateful that Brad has been able to join us on this wonderful occasion. It is without any further ado that I invite Mr Stephen Bullock of Homeroom 411 to present his class to you.
Gives me great pleasure to introduce Homeroom 411 to you all. Noah Albany. Santhasuk Chantavong. Yannick Crouch. Nathaniel Evans. Brendan Favelli. Patrick Halls. Dean Jacobs. Kyle Larson. Matthew Lynch. Bailey Macbeth. Josiah Falau. Trent Peoples. Sebastian Policina. Joshua Potter. Patrick Tuckwell. Thomas West. Timothy Whiten. Matthew Zappia. Congratulations, Homeroom 411. Now I call Ms. Sligo to introduce her homeroom.
I will just ask that you hold your applause till the whole homeroom has been announced. It's my great honour today to present to you homeroom 412. Hugh Allen, William Bottom, Samuel Buckley, Jonathan Buttigieg, Max Clark, Ryan Davis, Nicholas de Zevlin, Benjamin Fee, Cameron Jeffries, Nathan Levi, Lachlan McKenzie, Dante Mariotto, Nicholas Mortimer, Daniel Patterson, Ruvaninyu Ratnaka, Joshua Reeder, Travis Ribera, James Russell, Jake Scott, Alexander Severino, a big congratulations please to homeroom 412. Could I invite Mr. Getzi to please present homeroom 413?
It gives me great pleasure to present homeroom 413. Adam Olowski. Eric Atia. Jacob Braithwaite. Josh Kabunko. Liam Clark. Braden De Bono. Daniel Easton. Jared Clarkson. Aaron Fesselai. Flynn Fielding. Blake Hoole. Tyrone Kay. Josh Lawaki. Jared Marks. Ed Mulholland. Callum Parr. Jonathan Ralston. Cooper Sheether. Napota Sumaika. Bailey Walsh. Congratulations, homeroom 413. Could I call on Mrs. Quirk to introduce homeroom 421?
It gives me great pleasure to introduce homeroom 421, Damon Ashforth, Nicholas Bestulich, Declan Campton, John Fuder, Kelland Jeffries, Nicholas Knorr, Joel Lovett, Clancy Marr, Reese McGrath, Mitchell Nobbs, Patrick Olega, Bradley Rigo, Lachlan Rolfe, Sean Sawney Esau, Aidan Smith, Benjamin Smith, Jonathan Talamaveo, Kariti Totalalafua, almost Lakey, sorry. Homeroom 421. Could I ask Mrs. Melissa Giles to come forward with Homeroom 422?
It's with great pleasure and pride that I introduce the fine young men of Homeroom 422. Curtis Atkins, Lachlan Binskin, Harry Brown, Steele Brown, Brock Cooper, Blake Draper, Austin Emery, Jake Gilbert, Nicholas Herezchuk, Brett Kellyworth, Charles Nivet, Frank Lepresti, Kobe McIntyre, Alan McKenzie, Mihal O'Leary, Matthew Pickley, Whitley Solomua, Luke Wright, woo-hoo. A big round of applause for these fine young men. I would like to call on Mrs. Kathleen McKim to introduce Homeroom 424.
It is with great joy that I present to you Homeroom 424. Solomon Carter. Matthew Cavnino. Jaden Cooper. Brandon Cotter. Harrison Douglas. Mitchell Duncan. Michael Fisher. Jonathan Griffiths. Samuel Groves. Bailey Ivanchik. Ashley Marinese. Kahal McMahon. James Plows. Jack Starr. Hayden Stojewski. Tyson Stone. Jacob Thorne. Lachlan Watkin. Please join with me in congratulating Homeroom 424. I'd like to invite Miss Lydia Curry up to the microphone to present Homeroom 425.
It's my pleasure to introduce to you the wonderful Homeroom 425, Golia Anyanga. Richard Bamondes. Mitchell Benson. Jake Botfield. Christian Cavallaro. Braden Clissold. Murray Cook. Michael Derrick. Jonathan DeMello. Ainsley Dolores. Blake Guthrie. Sam Hackett. Damien Hayden, Joshua Hopper, Harrison Hudson, John Morthen, Blaine Parker, Dylan Peters, Lachlan Reid, Todd Sabienza, Lane Storia, Liam Welsh, Jackson Willis. Please put your hands together for Homeroom 425.
Thank you to Mrs. Curry, and congratulations once again to all the Year 12 graduates. Thank you to Mr. Miller and Mr. Eisenhuth. At this point in time, I would like to invite Mr. Eisenhuth to step forward and make his address on behalf of the St. Greg's Old Boys Association. Please make him welcome.
Thanks very much, Jamo. And a huge thank you to the community of St. Greg's for inviting me to represent the Old Boys here today. A place that's very close to my heart and a place that represents a huge part of my life. So thank you for having me here. For those who don't know me, my name's Brad Eisenhuth. I was the college captain in the year 2001. This is 15 years ago for all you youngsters over there. You're only about 2 years old when I finished, so I do feel a little old today. But for me, this is a great place. I made friendships for life. I had so much fun. I had laughs that I probably can't compare to at any other stage of my life in this place. And, you know, for me, I'm very proud to be representing the Old Boys today in having this discussion, and I'm still passionate about this school as much as I'm unable to come back here all the time. At events like this, it's very honouring and humbling to be part of such a ceremony. But for me, what I want to talk about is 15 years ago, I was sitting in your chair and in the same place as you. Huge mixed emotions at the time. Boys, can you tell me, is anyone here a little scared about what's going to happen in the next few weeks and months? Yeah? Anyone a little nervous about exams? Yeah? Is anyone pretty pumped up just to get out of here? Yeah. So I had all of those, right? I was all of the above. You know, when I was asked to talk today, I just needed to reflect on the perspectives that I wanted to share with you today to make sure that, you know, what you walk away with in terms of the culture and the community here, it may not hit you today, it may not hit you tomorrow, it might take a few months, it might take a few years, but there's a very special piece of this community that you will be able to grab onto. And regardless of whether you're scared, you're a little bit emotional, or whether it's just a place you want to jump out of tomorrow, it's a lot you can take out of here. So I want to share a little bit. And the only way I can do that is really by sharing my personal story. As I said, 15 years ago, I loved school. I was sitting in your chair. I studied hard. I was a little bit of a geek for any of you out there that was like me. I would study day and night to make sure that I would achieve results. And so I know HSC exams are coming up in the next few months, or the next few weeks actually. And I worked really hard. What ended up happening for me was that I got to a place where the exam notes come in, the results come in, open up the mail, good result. I was really lucky, 98.2, what a winner, outstanding. But, at the time, even better, I was also offered 3 or 4 scholarships to university. Didn't know what to do, decided I'd take the highest paying scholarship. I was all of a sudden going to be an electrical engineer. On top of that, I was really lucky and I was signed up to an NRL club when I was in year 11. So, world was my oyster. Life was pretty good. And for me, this school created a lot of that, but I don't want to tell you how awesome I am. That's got nothing to do with what I want to share today. That was a good story, but that's when I started to learn a lot about myself, and this is where you can learn a little bit about how important this school is. So by 19, I had dropped out of uni. I had stopped playing football, and I'm getting a little bit emotional, guys. Basically, I was lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was at a point in my life where this school was the only centering that I had in my life. And that's all I could reflect on. So when I was out in the big wide world, I was isolated, I was doing my own thing. On the outside, everyone thought I was doing great things and achieving goals, but on the inside, I was really struggling. And I was struggling without that centering of all that mateship that you talked about this morning. The brotherhood, the boys, what Josiah talked about so eloquently. So what I did is I finally decided to take a step back and think about, well, what could I do? What could I take away from this school? If I'm going to get things back on track, how could I leverage all of the great things about this school? So when I looked around the world and when I was looking at everything happening around me, there were 2 big things that I realized. There was, in life you need to be surrounded by a great team. Regardless of whether you're in a company, whether you're playing football, whatever you're doing, you've got to be surrounded by a great team. And the second thing is you've got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and be very proud of yourself. You've got to be able to look at what you do every day and live life with purpose, do things that matter to you. And at the time I didn't have that. I didn't know what I wanted, particularly because most things that I thought I wanted were taken away from me, or I let them go. So I thought through this culture that we have here, and we talk about team, talk about that first point. This culture at St. Greg's doesn't change, and it's uncomparable to anything else that you'll see in your life. I've been very lucky in my corporate career. I've worked with many organisations, and I've been able to see many corporate cultures, and I would tell you right now that a company would die to have the culture of this school. To have people so engaged, to have students so engaged, to have people that turn up here passionately every day to give back and add value to other people. And so when I think through this, I was looking at my time, and it's no different to the way that Damien described this school before. When I went to school, and Stephen, Mr. Bullock was at the school at the time, we didn't lose anything. We were always winners. We were always out there achieving. Football, soccer, basketball, cricket, debating, anything. We were winners or we were close enough. And when you look at it, and I think some of you need to reflect on this when you're at school or even when you leave school in the next couple of years, you're just a bunch of boys with 2 legs and 2 arms. But you're brought together by a culture and an environment that allows you to be better than what you normally will be. You get surrounded by people teachers, the community, that all want to see you become successful. So that happens. Then on top of that, you look at what happened today. A bunch of rowdy boys from all walks of life come together and can sing like they did today. And that happens at this school year in, year out. The passion, this commitment to standing up for one another, the fact that you're even be able to hug and cry it out today is an outstanding representation of what this school's all about. Then on top of that, you think about every time we play a sporting event or something happens and we all come together, and from a cultural perspective, it doesn't even make sense, but we sing a song called the Huli Pop. And we sing this song with such passion, and we don't even really know what the words mean, but we sing it because we're brothers and we're all together and we want to achieve. And so that for me was the first acknowledgement that I had when I started to reflect on my life at that time, about how can I surround myself with a culture like I was at school, and all of these things that were really important to me. But then the second, I guess I thought, well, how does that all happen? I talked about the community, I talked about the people. If I reflect on my time, and I'm just going to share you a few little stories. I studied 4-unit maths. I had the late brother Richard who would sit there, and every Saturday morning I'd drive up to the college and I would study for about 2 or 3 hours in the morning 4-unit maths. He didn't have to do that, but he would go out of his way to make sure that I was able to succeed. He wanted to give back to me. He wanted to give back to our community. JK, Mr. Huntley, Mr. Thornton, some of these names you may or may not be familiar with, but in the rugby league team that I was about, they would thrash us. They would work so hard. We would do extras. We would commit to this college. And that strength and tenacity of our team that won and was almost unbeatable came from the fact that people around us were supporting. Mrs. Flynn, I was part of a leadership group who every second Tuesday would catch up and we would discuss events and different campaigns and different things going on around the school. Champagne Day, dances, all of these sorts of things that just happen. They don't happen because, people somehow magically can turn on a dance. They happen because there's a commitment to these things happening. And it taught me so much about the fact that culture here comes from people that are prepared to give to each other. And then on top of that, it's the fact that you're prepared to give for each other as friends. You can look at each other in the eye, support each other. The number of hugs and emotional embraces that happened before, that lives with you for a long, long time. You don't forget your friends from St. Greg's. And that is something that you can really put in your pocket and later on in life start to use. So the second part I talked about was finding purpose, and I needed to find something that meant a lot to me. So I really reflected on our school motto, which was what you sow, so shall you reap. So up until that point, everything was working well for me. What I was putting in, I was getting out. School results, footy, everything was working. Out in the big wide world, it wasn't. I was planting the wrong seeds. I had to work out what seeds to plant. I had to think about what were the things that I was passionate about. What did I want to reap? And I had to re-energize myself to get back on track. So when I pulled that all together, this whole piece about getting some pride and getting some passion about myself, I could draw on St. Greg's even when I wasn't here. It's this environment that if you learn and watch not what you learn from books, it's not what you learn in physics, it's not what you learn in maths, it's not what you learn in English, it's what you learn on the journey and the process of building mateship, creating a culture, creating leadership, putting your bar high and reaching for the stars. And that's what your group has done. And hearing from Damien today, it was really rewarding to come back after 15 years and hear that this school doesn't change. So for me, in applying this, I pull it all together, I make some decisions, and I start to think about where my life can become much more powerful. And I'm not going to tell you about the rest of the story because it doesn't really matter. Ultimately, what matters to you is that you can use all of that power to become awesome in your own right, to do things that you're really passionate about, and as far as the Old Boys of community concerned, to feel that you're supported and you're still part of a community that really cares for you. And while you think, and you're sitting there and some of you are going, Brad, hear enough of that, mate. I'm going to knock off my HSC and everything's going to be fine. There's going to be times in your life where you're going to need to draw on a sense of inspiration, and a sense of passion and something that actually gets you out of bed in the morning. And when things hit the fan, you can actually rely on what you've learned here. So today we're going to give you, on behalf of the old boys, a violet pin, and that represents humility, simplicity, and modesty. And so when it comes to being a St. Greg's boy, as much as you want to talk about the successes, keep yourself grounded. You know, that's what humility's about. It's about being able to look yourself in the mirror, stand up every morning, and know that you're out there doing your best. That doesn't mean stop reaching for the stars. In fact, it actually gives you more power to reach for the stars. You're grounded. So we're going to give that to you as a gesture. But from the old boys to the community here today and to the boys, I really hope that you enjoyed tonight. It's a really good opportunity to let your hair down, spend some time with your mates, engage in some good conversation, have a bit of fun. Next few weeks, put the head down, pedal to the metal, pump out some good HSC results, but don't forget where you came from. It's a great school, and I guarantee you'll be walking down the streets of the city, in the country, somewhere around the place, and if you bump into a St. Greg's boy, the conversation will start off from where you left it from. So thank you very much to everyone in the St. Greg's community. Really appreciate you inviting me here, and thank you for allowing me to share that story. I wish you all the best.
Thanks once again to Mr. Eisenhuth for giving up your valuable time to be with us today and offering the boys plenty of insights into what it means to be a St. Greg's old boy. I'd now like to invite the very talented members of the Year 12 music class to perform for you today. Thanks, guys. Fantastic as always. Our next set of awards this morning are presented by our Director of Teaching and Learning, Mrs. Kathy Keegan. These awards will be presented to those who have finished first, second or third in each subject for consistency and effort or for academic achievement. Would you please welcome Mrs. Keegan to announce the award winners, and I would again like to invite Mr. Miller to present the shields and medals. Gentlemen, could I ask those receiving awards please to move to the side of the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us. In the ceremony this afternoon, we'll be recognising those students who were placed first, second or third in course. Their certificates are already in their portfolios. We thought that might be neater, but those students who became first in a course will receive a medal, and those students who were placed first in RE will receive a plaque today. If I could ask you to hold your applause to the end. Solomon Carter, Medals in Engineering, equal third in course. Jared Clarkson, English Standard, third in course. Jonathan DeMello, Italian Continuers, third in course. Blake Draper, Design and Technology, equal third in course. Blake Houle, Design and Technology, equal third in course. Matthew Lynch, General Mathematics 1, third in course. Edward Mulholland, Agriculture, third in course. Callum Parr, Senior Science, third in course. Napota Simaka, Music, third in course. Aidan Smith, Religion, Catholic Studies, third in course. Benjamin Smith, Information Processes and Technology, third in course. Lachlan Watkin, Primary Industries, third in course. Please join with me in congratulating this group of gentlemen. Murray Cook, Ancient History, third in course. General Mathematics 2, third in course. Studies of Religion 1, third in course. Braden Clissold, Visual Arts, second in course. Jake Gilbert, Primary Industries, second in course. Tyrone Kay, English Studies, second in course. Charles Nivet, Construction, equal second in course. Joshua Lowocki, Religion, Catholic Studies, second in course. Trent Peoples, Personal Development, Health and PE, equal second in course. Joshua Reader, Sports, Lifestyle and Recreation, equal second in course. Travis Ribera, Information Processes and Technology, second in course. Lachlan Reed, Italian Continuers, second in course. Hayden Stadesky, Design and Technology, second in course. Jonathan Talamaveo, Personal Development, Health and PE equals second in course. Liam Welsh, Ancient History, second in course. And congratulations to this group of gentlemen. Damon Ashforth, Metals and Engineering, second in course. English Studies, third in course. Mitchell Duncan, Industrial Technology Timber, second in course. Mathematics Extension 1, third in course. Jonathan Griffiths, General Mathematics 1, second in course. Sports, Lifestyle and Recreation, equal second in course. Metals and Engineering, equal third in course. Sam Hackett, Agriculture, second in course. General Mathematics 2, second in course. English Advanced, equal third in course. Cathal McMahon, Business Studies, second in course. Studies of Religion 1, second in course. Geography, third in course. Samuel Groves, Mathematics, second in course. Mathematics Extension 1, second in course. Physics, second in course. And congratulations to this group of boys. We now move on to include our first place getters. Matthew Cavannino, Italian Beginners, first in course. Christian Cavallaro, Personal Development, Health and PE, first in course. Nathaniel Evans, Senior Science, first in course. Michael Fisher, Primary Industries, first in course. I'll start now. Kyle Larson, Metals and Engineering, first in course. James Russell, English Studies, first in course. Alexander Severino, Construction, first in course. Luke Wright, Sports, Lifestyle and Recreation, first in course. Curtis Atkins, Ancient History, first in course. Visual Arts, third in course. Brock Cooper, Design and Technology, first in course. Physics, third in course. Daniel Patterson, General Mathematics 1, first in course. Metals and Engineering, equal third in course. Bradley Rigo, Information Processes and Technology, first in course. Software Design and Development, third in course. Flynn Fielding, Visual Arts, first in course. Business Studies, third in course. English Advanced, equal third in course. Industrial Technology Timber, third in course. William Bottom, Industrial Technology Timber, first in course. Construction, equals second in course. Harry Brown, Religion Catholic Studies, first in course. Senior Science, second in course. And congratulations to this group of winners. Joshua Kabunkel, Biology equal first in course. Chemistry equal second in course. Kellen Jeffries, English Standard first in course. Chemistry equal second in course. Geography second in course. Economics third in course. Matthew Zapier, Studies of Religion 2 equal first in course. Economics second in course. Legal Studies second in course. Modern History third in course. Noah Albany, Agriculture first in course. Chemistry first in course. Biology third in course. Mathematics third in course. Josiah Falau, English Advanced equal first in course. Studies of Religion 1 first in course. Music second in course. Legal Studies third in course. Liam Clark, Biology equal first in course. Geography first in course. Modern History first in course. Bailey Vanchik, Physics first in course. Software Design and Development first in course. Studies of Religion 2 equal first in course. Richard Bahamondes, Economics first in course. English Advanced equal first in course. Legal Studies first in course. Modern History second in course. Software Design and Development second in course. Studies of Religion 2 third in course. Frank Lepresti, Business Studies first in course. General Mathematics 2 first in course. Italian Continuers first in course. Music first in course. English Standard second in course. And congratulations again to our academic winners. Our next group of awards recognise the effort that the gentlemen have put in throughout Year 12. The Headmasters Awards for Effort and Consistency are drawn from the effort grades on each of the first semester and second semester report. Where a tie occurs, we then go to the progress report. If I could ask you again to hold your applause to the end. So the Headmasters Award for Academic Effort and Consistency goes to Samuel Buckley, Braden Clissold, Aaron Fessile, Tyrone Kay, Jonathan Morthen, Edward Mulholland, Trent Peoples, Joshua Potter, Jonathan Talamaveo, Liam Welsh. Congratulations to these boys on an outstanding effort. We now move on to our final set of awards for the afternoon, which is the calculation of our top 10 academic achievers for Year 12. Glad to see we've got all of our top 10 there now. In 10th place, Liam Clark. In 9th place, Sam Hackett. In 8th place, Matthew Zapier. In 7th place, Bailey Ivanchik. In 6th place, Flynn Fielding. In 5th place, Josiah Falau. In 4th place, Noah Albany. In 3rd place, Kellen Jeffries. In 2nd place, Richard Bahamondes. And 1st place in Year 12 for 2016 goes to Frank Lepresti. And we might congratulate them again. I'd like to wish all of the students in Year 12 well for their upcoming exams. I hope to see many of you here at the beginning of next year to celebrate our results. It's been a privilege to work with you and with our families for Year 12, and I wish you every success for the future. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations, gentlemen, and thank you to Mrs. Keegan and Mr. Miller. Good start. Mr. Miller, members of the Morris Brothers community, Mr. Bradley Eisenhuth of the St Greg's Old Boys Association, teachers, parents, friends, members of the graduating class of 2012. Can I first start by saying what an absolute pleasure it has been to be the year coordinator of this group of young men over the last 2 years. Having known most of them since the beginning of 2011, when I was on Mr. Bale's Year 7 homeroom team, I feel as though I've been able to witness firsthand much of their growth and development into the fine young men they are today. Throughout our last 2 years together, this development has been constant, and each and every one of you have had experiences that will hold you in good stead for many years to come. As this was my first time taking a Year 12 group through, I will always look back with fond memories when thinking about this special group of young men. The last 2 years have been a massive learning curve for me personally, and I feel as though I've been on the journey with the boys the whole way. Today we finish with many great memories, friendships that will last a lifetime, and a definite sense of achievement. One of the most memorable experiences of our time together was the Year 12 retreat back in Term 4, 2015. The time spent down at the Hermitage in Mittagong provided a great opportunity for each of us to reflect on the schooling so far and contemplate what lie ahead. The bonds that were shared and the memories that were made will live with many of you for a number of years to come. One of the biggest indicators of the strength of any cohort, I believe, is their participation in the college's co-curricular program. This year we had over 75% of the year group participate in some form of co-curricular activity. I commend each and every one of you for your efforts in contributing to the program and congratulate those involved in the individual success of many sports and activities. This year the college won the MCS first grade football, rugby league and cricket premierships as well as the athletics, cross-country, swimming and golf trophies. This, together with some fantastic results in public speaking and debating, and a large participation from Year 12 in the musical, added to this great success. Many of you made major contributions to these activities and should again be congratulated on your efforts. I would like to thank Josiah, Trent and the student leadership team for their efforts over the last 12 months. They have each led the college with distinction and pride and should be very proud of the way they have carried themselves as leaders of the college. Since the beginning of Year 11, we have always maintained that this was a group team approach. I know you are all grateful for the efforts of the Year 12 homeroom team over the last 2 years, and I would like to thank them personally. To Mr. Stephen Bullock, Mrs. Julie Sliger, Mr. Mario Getzi, Mrs. Polly Quirk, Mrs. Melissa Giles, Mrs. Kath McKim and Miss Lydia Curry, thank you. I'd also like to make special mention of my assistants over the last 2 years, Mrs. Trudy Sawyer and Mrs. Jane Coupland. Your support for me and the care that you have showed the boys has been appreciated immensely. I know all too well that the best interests of the Year 12 group were always at the forefront of the minds of these outstanding members of staff. I'm extremely proud of all the efforts and your development in becoming fine young men. I wish you every success in the future in all your endeavours, whether it be university, an apprenticeship, TAFE or the workforce. I'm sure you'll make the most of every opportunity given to you, and most importantly, good luck for the HSC. I encourage you all to take on board the important life lessons learnt from your year's schooling at St Greg's. Most importantly, to be young men of great character and strength, young men who can make a difference by striving to do the best they can in everything they do, while also being true to themselves. To finish, gentlemen, I'd like to leave you with a few lines from one of my favourite poems that I shared with you at retreat last year, Man in the Mirror. When you get what you want and you struggle for self, and the world makes you king for a day, then go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what the man has to say. You can fool the whole world down the pathway of years and get pats on the back as you pass, but the final reward will be heartache and tears if you've cheated the man in the glass. Be true to yourselves, gentlemen, and the possibilities will be endless. It is now with great thanks to Mrs. Lydia Curry that we conclude the graduation ceremony by taking the opportunity to have a look back at the time these group of boys have spent together here at St Greg's. Gentlemen, congratulations on being the St Gregory's College graduating class of 2016. You are now alumni of a college with 90 years of tradition, in which you have all played a major part in its great history. Quae sumner vis metes, what you sow, so shall you reap.
Saturday, my dad, he held me screaming in his arms, and he can talk like it was yesterday when I got that holy water in my eye. It's alright, is it just alright? See all those faces coming down, I'm trying not to let them down this time, babe, is that alright? Well, I turn on the water, I can still feel your sunlight, and all I ever wanted was time. You know that all I ever wanted was time. Come on, strong. Forgive me, I just couldn't help myself. And I have changed, but I'm better now. And I see you in this new and perfect light. still see the sun on the water. I can still feel your sunlight. And all I ever wanted was time. You know that all I ever wanted was time. You know that all I ever wanted was time. You know that all I ever wanted was time. You know that all we ever really needed was time.
So it goes, another lonely day. You're saving time, but you're miles away. Your flowers drowning in some bitter tea. You're seeing lost opportunity. Find your mirror, go and look inside. You see the talent you're always hide. Don't go kid yourself, well not today. Satisfaction's not far away. Hold on now, your exit's here. It's waiting just for you. Don't pause too long, it's fading now. It's ending all too soon. You'll see. Soon you'll see. Your coffee's warm, but your milk is sour. Life is short, but you're here to flower. Dream yourself along another day. Never miss opportunity. Don't be scared of what you cannot see. Your only fear is possibility. Never wonder what the hell went wrong. Your second chance may never come along. Hold on now, your exit's here. It's waiting just for you. Don't pause too long, it's fading now. It's ending all too soon. You'll see. Soon you'll see. Hold on now, your exit's here. It's waiting just for you. Don't pause too long, it's fading now. It's ending all too soon. You'll see. Soon you'll see. Soon you'll see.
Young men do not just become young men. There's a lot of contributions that go towards forging us to be the young men that we are, both from parents and staff. And today, on behalf of Year 12, I'd just like to recognise the efforts of one staff member in particular, Mr. Andrew Jamison. Sir, would you like to stand up, please? So I said it at Mass, and I'll say it again. You're just a genuine bloke, and I think that's what was really great about our relationship with you, was that we were able to get along with you so well, because you really understood where we were coming from and had empathy for us. So for everything that you do and everything that you'll continue to do here, just thank you so much. And this is a small token of our appreciation.
Guys, to the most, in the most genuine way, I do thank you for all your efforts over the last 2 years. It's been a special journey, and I will take very fond memories from our time together. Guys, just to finish the special part of the day, I now invite you all to take off your St Greg's senior tie. Just before we put it on, guys, I just want to say a couple of words. In terms of the old boys tie, I think it's a excellent memento and something that I know Mr. Steen brought in a few years ago. But as you saw Mr. Eisenhuth up here, and you've seen Mr. Bullock do their old boys addresses in the previous years, I think it's something special. It's certainly something that you can wear with pride. And as you put them on, I congratulate you on being the graduating class, and just to all the families, particularly the parents, thank you for your presence here today, and I look forward to celebrating with many of you tonight at the formal. So congratulations, guys, the graduating class of 2016. Thank you, guys, and have a safe journey home.